Hello folks, it's Black6 here with another 4-color Loam video. So, in terms of evaluating this opening hand, this fetch can't get both of the colors we currently don't have with our duels, and this is our only turn 1 play, so we're going to mulligan this one. And this is, turn 1 Bob, which is, we can't complain about that. And it looks like we're on the draw, we're going to keep this on top, because we otherwise don't have spells, and we will probably need some sort of removal at some point. Or maybe not, this might be Miracles. It's far from certain, but... Okay, so, as I said, we have a lot of lands, and these lands can potentially turn into spells. So what we're going to do is we're going to lead with Windswept Heath, fetch, maybe be out a Stifle or something. We get a Bayou, or we can get a Forest. I'm going to go ahead and get a Bayou. Most of these are not really decisions in the blind because there exist decks that could punish either line. Although, the basic is relatively safe unless the Mox Diamond gets hit, and then it's really bad. In terms of not having access to red, for example, this is going to get plowed right now. So the rest of our hand is not really much to look at, but we can cycle with Bayou and have Mox Diamond, Horizon Canopy to cast any non-knight thing we draw. We also have this Wasteland to punish our opponent, fetching out duels. If we were to be the kinds of players that stereotyped, we would say our opponent is maybe a little newer to the format, given that they made no effort to get a basic with what is probably Miracles. Although it could also definitely be other things. Now this is pretty conclusive proof that our opponent is new to this format. Unless, there's always a situation where this is justified. It just, almost never looks justified from the opponent's point of view. That meaning from ours here. Opponents now learn their lesson. This is a blind counterbalance, so I feel fairly confident jamming the knight into it. The knight would be 7/7. So let's just go ahead and play around a mainboard Blood Moon, because we don't need because it's unlikely that we're going to get our Mox destroyed, and Punishing Fire is not actually super important unless they show us a creature. The amount of creatures in these decks varies a lot, so this could be somewhere between mostly dead and quite good. This isn't going particularly well for us. Usually things are a lot better, but our opponent is down to 2 cards in hand. We could start the beatdown with Stirring Wildwood, or we could draw a card with Horizon Canopy and hope for a strong 2-drop. I'm actually on the Wildwood plan right now. It's just the lower variance play. There's also a counterbalance in play, so we don't necessarily want to forego this uncounterable threat for a potentially counterable card off the top of our deck. Ooh, what are the odds our opponent is going to brainstorm? Okay. So we're trading 1 for 1 here, basically. It's not mana efficient for us, but that's fine. This is not great. On the other hand, our opponent has not yet found the top, and they have one random card in their hand. Well, one card in their hand. We don't know the degree of randomness of that card. Okay, so just a land. So our opponent's top decking. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card with this, and if it's better than activating Stirring Wildwood, I'm going to go with that. This card's recently been the bane of my existence in Vintage, so I might be overvaluing it a little bit, but you know, I sort of am trained to see it as a threat, and on this board state, with our opponent having one card in hand, it's really not. It's an extra token every turn now, which is quite good, and also counterbalance is turned on. But had our opponent not drawn the top there, it would actually not be much of a threat at all. Hmm. I'm just going to go ahead and attack. So I should really fix that bug where the cancel button doesn't work. And we're going to play out and not use this Wasteland, because we are going to wait for our opponent's upkeep if they do the top trick of drawing. We're going to Wasteland this Flooded Strand, and maybe convince them to get rid of the top. Okay. This is on end step. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to go ahead and let them untap. Oh. No. So if they let this resolve, they can shuffle. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the top is fairly important to them, so we just got to downgrade their brainstorm a little bit. But our situation is actually not ideal. And the longer this mentor stays in play and our opponent draws live, the worse this gets for us. We're an Abrupt Decay away from being back in a strong position. Oh, wow, okay. Is this... Okay, this is the ability. You have to look over here to see if it's the ability or if they're like casting another one. So our opponent chose to have a land versus whatever they drew, which maybe they're putting a 2 back on top. Maybe there's a swords on top. I think at this point I might want to be keeping up mana to potentially eat the mentor. I can't take my opponent off of Jace. And the Scavenging Ooze, like, how actually good is it? Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and play it. If this gets countered, I can still keep up Stirring Wildwood. Yeah, I'm just going to play out my Wasteland on the off chance that I'll get to Wasteland to fetch. They're going to tap a second time because they didn't decide what they wanted to do the first time. Yep. So the first thing we're doing if our opponent just passes is eating the swords. Then we're eating one of our creatures. Or I guess we're eating swords, then we're eating Brainstorm, and then we're eating one of our creatures. Yeah, we can't do anything if they're already cracking the fetch land. But they're just showing us that they have. Well, no, there's always something with top. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, that sucks. They found tops, so this hopefully accelerates by quite a bit. I mean, I guess unless it's a 7/7, it still can't attack. But over the next turn or so, this is going to get real ugly. Maybe the opponent won't realize that we can, double block and tap this to eat a thing. Okay. Well, we're also just dead. We got a little tunnel vision there. We can go up to 10, double block, and go to exactly lose. Okay, choke. Phyrexian Sage, Thalias, Revokers, maybe a Pulse. What comes out? Dismember comes out. Deathrite Shaman comes out. One Mox Diamond. One Loam. Scavenging Ooze. We need to get 2 cards. Usually I cut 1 Punishing Fire. That's probably the case here as well. And then I could cut either Maelstrom Pulse or Dryad Arbor. The eternal question. I'll go ahead and cut Pulse. Or not bringing it in. This time we get to be on the play, and we don't have acceleration, but we have 2 blobs, which is great. Maybe I should experiment with cutting the second box again. It just removes a lot of potential really strong opening hands. They're like most of the games where I go turn 1 Thalia, I win. Oh, that was dumb. I mean, it's actually not going to hurt me at all. I just couldn't get a basic forest out. I'll have to do it with this one. But yeah, in retrospect, it doesn't matter at all. That was just sort of a plan I had. Right, because the earliest they can move me is this turn. Perfect. Getting a basic forest in case the opponent has a Force of Will. Or at 3 on top. This is all excellent. So, what exactly do I want to do? To the card advantage route is Tranquil Thicket, get back 3 lands. I think I want to play out Pridemage. And then I'm going to play Karakas and pass, and then cycle on their end step. The alternative is I could play out this Gaddock Teeg, and that stops Jace. But my board also really stops Jace from being good. So, and okay, I guess we just put our opponent in a really bad situation. We're gonna keep all of this as is. Kind of not sure why our opponent conceded there. So this is good enough to keep. Well, there's 2 castables, 3 castables. Yeah, I'll keep. We're missing a white source, but we'll get that eventually. On top. Again, our opponent is playing a non-basic first. We're not, even if we had Wasteland in our hand, we wouldn't rush to Wasteland it because establishing 1 or 2 mana before doing that is infinitely better. But this is really advisable if you want to have a stable mana base. Like, you don't know that, I might just decide to believe that you don't have a second or a third land. That's pretty awful for you. They're playing Stoneforge Mystic in their Miracles deck. Well, we actually haven't seen Terminus from them, so maybe they're just that kind of deck instead. And I guess that means we really want to Punishing Fire this. It's a pretty scary sword. I mean, not with Grove combo online, but in general, swords are pretty scary. Yeah, I mean, they are playing Counterbalance, so they're definitely on some sort of miracles. Namely, I guess, mid-range miracles. Ooh, these are some fun decisions. we can get them to top now and be top locked. I'm going to go ahead and lead with Chalice. It turns off the most things, and there better not be a Daze in that deck. Yep. So they're brainstorming just to get it out of their hand, which means they're redrawing at least one of those cards. So, Blood Moon's really good here because it cuts us off 3 of our spells. But otherwise, we're in a decent position. Oh, and it also cuts them off of almost everything. So I really doubt that that's in our future. Okay, another Stoneforge Mystic. Is there Counterspell backup this time? It's probably what this is. Okay. Okay. So there's Stoneforge backup this time. It's pretty cool. I could just go ahead and play Phyrexian Revoker, named Stoneforge Mystic. It's an option. As an alternative, I could also Punishing Fire 1, Wasteland, get back Punishing Fire. They have 3, maybe 4 mana. And then Wasteland the other one? No. That's not good. I'm really tempted to revoke top. If I do nothing, I'm not doing anything that's generally bad. So, okay, I'm going to revoke top, and then if they pass to my turn, I'll kill one of them. So if they have a force here, it's bad, but not having a force has been bad for quite a while. Sure. So yeah, okay, Sword of Feast of Famine. I was a little worried like maybe there's a Batter Skull, maybe some of this matters, but no, like the thing that we fear most here is maybe there's a Vendilion Click. And because of that fear, we're gonna try to get rid of the untapped white source. We just want to take them off 3 consecutive mana. And I think inside combat, Or our opponent didn't float anything, so we're just going to go ahead and main phase this and get it for 2 damage. Snapcaster Mage blows us out. Yeah, let's just, Well, if they had Snapcaster, they would not run it into this guy. They would equip and do whatever this thing does. Yep, it is what we feared. We could have, we couldn't have played around this with just one of these cards. So we are discarding a card. That's fine. We can afford to lose Thalia at this point. We have a mana disadvantage. Sure. Maybe this Miracle Stick is a transformational sideboard. So we we can play out Qasali Pridemage. No, that's not very good. I feel like this Revoker is dying no matter what we do. Which is not great. If this was a land, we'd be in better shape. This will be a 3/3, so it'll for sure survive. We can play Pridemage. We can't block is like one of the bigger problems. But we can destroy Jete. You know what, let's go ahead and give it 2 targets. It's just going to be a Jete. Or rather, not 2 targets, but Snapcaster will go away when we block. So then they can kill Revoker, and then enable their Sensei's Top again. And it'll be our hand versus top, I guess, because the 1 counter won't be able to do anything. Yep. My opponent was able to shuffle away all their 1-drops with that brainstorm in response to the chalice, which is pretty nice for them. And now they're again in a situation where they can filter their draws. So like maybe these 2 are 1-drops, but the rest aren't. So we could play out Pridemage to be safest from. Let's play out Pridemage. To be safest from an end of turn Snapcaster. Yeah, that's fine. Card is quite dead. More lands would be great. Thank you. So now I kind of want to choose between, like, do I want a green source? Because this is a lot of non-green sources. I'm going to go ahead and blow that up. Play out this Mox Diamond. Keep up 2 mana, and then play a Knight. Oh, did I miscount? Yes, I miscounted. But that's okay. That's not a problem. Because, well, first of all, they didn't have it. Second of all, this thing's now 4/4. So it doesn't die to 3 counters. So there is a terminus. Okay. Good thing we are playing 1 creature at a time, at all times. Go ahead. Yeah, so we have Punishing Fire, get it back up, as well as Threatening Merit Leech next turn. Say we've just about won this. You know, if our opponent goes Jace bounce, we can kill the Jace, get him a life, get this back. After reboarding, I would probably bring in the 3rd Punishing Fire. My opponent is staying pretty hard, almost hard enough to make up the difference in time. Okay. That's not okay. We're going to go ahead and kill that in response to getting a counter. There's literally nothing you can do. Huh. Okay, so on one hand I want to keep this up. Actually, I can do both. No need for any sort of conflict. So yeah, not to die next turn. Next. So Karakas gets my opponent out of this. They're clearly not playing Wasteland. Swords is shut down, but Dillion clicked by the turn, which is potentially pretty good. But no, I guess they just don't have it. Thanks for watching. See you next.